Wetere Pompey could be the envy of every junior player trying to set themselves up for an NRL career. He's so talented, a glamour club and a super agent have come knocking.
But at 16, what are the pitfalls? Reporter Yvonne Tahana went to meet one of the nicest, if shyest, young athletes around.
Wetere Pompey is in a hurry to get places, but that's not how it works. For now, he's keeping an eye on a cheeky younger brother. There's homework and lunch to get done. And then there's training for basically any sport going.
I think Wets is one of those kids who's just natural, bit of a freak. He's a cricketer, you know, he plays a bit of touch. I think he's into his tag and now rugby and then league.
Wesley's produced plenty of famous sons. Wetere could be another. Despite having never played league before a tournament last year, he's signed with 13 times champions, the Sydney Roosters.
He impressed when he was there. He had a whole lot of people take notice of.
There were scouts and they were asking my mates what was his name, and they told me to come up to them after the game, so I just went up to them and they were interested in me. Yeah. I was a bit nervous talking to them, shy.
That's a battle in itself, but on the field he's anything but. Lots of players are identified by clubs at 16, but only the Roosters are flying mostly Māori teenagers to Sydney for 3 days of the week to play in their under-18 competition.
They're just telling me to put on more weight and just use your speed to get around them. Looks like play 18s, and if I do good in the 18s, I'll move to 20s, and then if I do good in 20s, then I can go to first grade, which I want to go to.
Played our sets, don't panic, don't play too fancy, but enjoy our last 35 minutes here. We had two boys, Wetere and Dean Cooker-Smith, who would come over and train with us in our last session of the week, and they'd live in the Roosters' house. Then they do their schooling back in New Zealand, so they've kind of got the best of both worlds.
1, 2, 3, brothers!
He's only young, but he's got like untapped ability, you know what I mean?
It won't be a model for everyone to follow.
You've got to be careful though, because there might be some cases, as I said before, where you bring somebody over early and they may not be ready for it. They might get homesick and then it doesn't work out as they might have planned for, you know. Because I'm a school teacher as well, so I can understand the welfare issue. I think probably each case needs to be treated maybe on its merits. Some boys might be ready to do what Wetere's done this year, but other boys may not have the maturity.
Still, it's about gaining a competitive edge.
Every club's trying to look after their own, sort of get in first to ensure they're not missing out on some of the talent.
To understand how much of a punt this is for the Roosters, you have to understand the numbers. Only 10 to 15% of those that play under 20s make it to the NRL first grade. Wetere's playing under 18s. His agent reckons the Roosters aren't in the habit of making bad bets.
They're investing in him and his development, ultimately for themselves as much as for him.
Do you have to manage expectations?
No, I put a little bit of time into making sure that everybody who's close understands how tough it's going to be, and that we don't celebrate before anything's recognised, because, as I say, that's one of the pitfalls, is they get ahead of themselves, and as steeply as they rise, they can fall just as quickly.
Jailed for assault this year, but eligible for parole in January.
The list of NRL scandals is a mile long, and while most won't end up in jail, junior players will struggle.
There's dating, there's drink, there's potentially drugs, there's all kinds of distractions, and when you've got such a focused career and a requirement to be so focused, and your friends are out there enjoying what most other 18 and 20-year-olds are doing, it's quite tough, because you do have to separate and make a sacrifice. And for some, it gets the better of them. There's a maturity that has to kick in, and I think the good players mature early.
At this stage, Sydney's too fast for Wetere.
All the support's here back in New Zealand. We go over there and you're with no one that's going to comfort him over there. A bit too young. He just needs a couple of years' experience in that field before he goes out. When he grows up, 18 years old, he should be up and running by then, yeah.
The Warriors know the system's not perfect.
To contract boys at such a young age, it's there's no guarantees. It comes with a lot of complexities, and the cost of development programs is probably way higher than clubs would like to pay. It's an expensive exercise, and forced by, I guess, all the clubs are a little bit nervous with each other's decisions. We're seeing players debut younger. It's not uncommon to see, 18-year-olds play professional debut. There's guys playing international football, playing for their country at a younger age, making debut. So with that, you've got to maybe expect that, the talent and recruitment decisions happen at a younger age, 13, 14 and younger.
The chances are most of these kids won't make it to first grade, but that doesn't mean they shouldn't dream big.
It's absolutely a great life for kids, We want to keep saying that kids, keep chasing your dreams, keep aiming high. We never say to a player, can guarantee you're going to be an NRL player. And we never say to a player that, you're not going to make it, but you just got to keep trying and do your best. Be passionate at what you do, and along the way, good things happen.
His NRL adventure starts here.